rushed into the doctor's office with the surgery consent form, ready to sign for my husband of 8 years, Chen Jingming. But a nurse stopped me, saying the system showed I wasn't his legal family member. I looked at the computer screen, which displayed the marriage certificate of Chen Jingming and Wen Yining. The registration date being 8 years ago. I didn't cry, I just quietly backed up the photo of their marriage certificate and all the transfer records to the cloud. Everyone thought I would break down, but only I knew that this 8-year joke was finally over. At 3 in the afternoon, while I was inserting an 4 for a child in the pediatric ward, my phone started ringing frantically. It was an unfamiliar number. I answered and an anxious voice came through. Hello, is this a family member of Chen Jingming? He suffered a sudden heart attack at the construction site. He's being rushed to the First People's Hospital of the city right now. Please come over immediately. My heart sank. Chen Jingming had gone on a site inspection today and was fine when he left. How could he suddenly have a heart attack? I immediately asked the head nurse for leave, grabbed my bag, and ran toward the cardiology department. As I ran, I called Chen Jingming's mother, Zhong Tsuehua. Mom, Jingming had a sudden heart attack and is on his way to the hospital. Please come over right away. What, a heart attack? Zhong Tsuehua's voice suddenly became shrill. How could he suddenly have a heart attack? Did you anger him? Let me tell you, if anything happens to Jingming, I'll make you pay. I didn't argue with her. After 8 years, I was long used to her unreasonable attitude. No matter what happened, it was always my fault. After hanging up, I had already run to the cardiology emergency room. Chen Jingming had just been brought in. He was lying on the hospital bed, pale-faced, lips purple, and already unconscious. The doctor walked over with the surgery consent form and said urgently, "You're the family member, right? Sign quickly. The patient's condition is critical and surgery is needed immediately." I took the consent form, picked up the pen and was about to sign. Wait a moment. The nurse beside me suddenly stopped me. "May I ask, what is your relationship to Chen Jingming?" "I'm his wife," I said. "Please show me your marriage certificate." The nurse said, "We need to verify your status as a family member." I was taken aback. The marriage certificate had always been kept in a drawer at home and I had left in such a hurry that I didn't bring it. "I don't have it on me," I said. "I'm Sun Yan, the head nurse of the pediatrics department at the First People's Hospital. You can check my work ID. Besides, when he was brought in just now, he already gave them my name and phone number." The nurse nodded, turned on the computer, and entered Chen Jingming's ID number. A few seconds later, the nurse's expression changed. She looked up at me, her eyes full of sympathy. "Nurse Su, I'm sorry, the system shows that Chen Jingming's legal wife is not you. His spouse is Wen Yining, and the registration date is May 20, 2016. My mind went blank with a deafening buzz. May 20, 2016, that was the day I married Chen Jingming. I remember it very clearly. That day, we invited relatives and friends to a meal and held a lively wedding. Chen Jingming said we could get the marriage certificate later since the wedding had already taken place and everyone knew we were husband and wife. I believed him at the time. I thought he was truly too busy to get the certificate. I never imagined that it wasn't that he had no time to get it with me, but that on that very day, he had gotten it with another woman. 8 years, a full 8 years. I had held a wedding with him and lived with him for 8 years, covering all the household expenses and chores, paying off his gambling debts, paying for his mother's medical treatment, and even aborting 2 children for him. It turned out I was never his wife. I was just a mistress who could never be exposed to the light. A fool he had deceived for 8 years. Nurse Su, the nurse gently nudged me. "Are you okay?" I snapped back to my senses and shook my head. I didn't cry, nor did I make a scene. He walked over to the computer, staring at the photo of Chen Jingming and Wen Yining's marriage certificate on the screen. In the photo, Chen Jingming was beaming with joy and the woman beside him, dressed in a white gown, looked gentle and quiet. I took out my phone and snapped a picture of the computer screen. Then I opened my mobile banking app and backed up all the transfer records I had sent to Chen Jingming over the past 8 years to the cloud. From 2016 to 2024, there were 127 transfers in total, amounting to 860,000 yuan. Every transaction was clearly recorded, from small amounts like a few hundred yuan for gas to large sums like several 100,000 yuan for project payments. This money was earned through my relentless overtime work day and night. I couldn't bring myself to buy designer bags or expensive cosmetics, giving him every penny I had. I thought I was investing in our future together, but in reality I was supporting someone else's husband. What do we do now, Nurse Sue? The doctor asked urgently. The patient's condition is critical and requires immediate surgery, but without a legal family member's consent we cannot proceed. I took a deep breath, suppressing the turmoil inside me, and calmly replied, I'll get in touch with MS when evening you prepare the patient for surgery, and I'll make sure a legal family member comes to sign the forms as soon as possible. The doctor nodded. All right, we'll start the preoperative preparations, please hurry. I stepped out of the doctor's office and stood at the entrance of the operating room. The red in-surgery light flickered on, stinging my eyes. 8 years of memories flashed through my mind like a movie. The first time I met Chen Jingming, he was wearing a white shirt and smiling brightly. He said he would treat me well for a lifetime and give me a good life. I believed him. For him, I gave up the opportunity to further my studies in Beijing. For him, I nearly broke off ties with my parents, who were against us being together. For him, I turned myself into an invincible superwoman, fixing pipes, changing light bulbs, caring for his sick mother, shouldering everything on my own. I thought that as long as I gave enough, he would eventually see my worth. Only now do I understand, to someone who doesn't love you, everything you do is wrong. I took out my phone and called Zhong Tsuehua. The call connected and Zhong Tsuehua said impatiently, What's up? How is Jingming? I was just about to head out. Jingming is undergoing surgery, I said calmly. But there's something I need to tell you. Chen Jingming registered his marriage with a woman named Wen Yining 8 years ago. I am not his legal wife. There was silence on the other end for a few seconds, then Zhong Tsuehua screamed, Sunyan, what nonsense are you talking? How could Jingming register his marriage with someone else? Are you refusing to sign for Jingming and deliberately cursing him? Let me tell you, if anything happens to Jingming, I will never let you off. I'm not talking nonsense, I said. It's in the hospital system. If you don't believe me, come check for yourself. With that, I hung up. I leaned against the wall, watching the people coming and going in the hallway. No one knew that in just those few minutes my world had completely collapsed, but I couldn't fall apart. I still had many things to do. I needed to take back everything that belonged to me. I would make Chen Jingming pay the due price for his deception. Half an hour later, Zhong Tsuehua rushed into the hospital in a fluster. As soon as she saw me, she stormed over, pointed at my nose and yelled, Sunyan, you jinx, are you the one who cursed Jingming to have a heart attack? And now you're spewing nonsense that he registered a marriage with someone else. I think you just don't want to spend money on Jingming's treatment. People around us turned to stare and began whispering and pointing. I didn't argue with her. I just said calmly, I'm not talking nonsense. If you don't believe me, go check at the nurse's station. Check, then let's see what tricks you can pull. Zhong Tsuehua stormed off toward the nurse's station. Before long, she came back, her face pale. It seemed she had found out the truth. I thought she would apologize and feel guilty. Unexpectedly, she looked at me and said without a shred of shame, So what if Jingming has registered a marriage with someone else? You had a wedding with him and lived together for 8 years. You are his wife. Now that he's sick, you should take care of him and pay for his treatment. I could hardly believe my ears. How could there be such an unreasonable person in this world? Mom, get this straight. I looked at her and said word by word, I am not his wife. He and I never registered our marriage, so our relationship is not legally protected. I have no obligation to sign for him or pay for his medical treatment. How can you say that? Zhong Tsuehua shrieked. You lived with him for 8 years. You ate his food, lived in his house, and now that he's sick, you just want to walk away. Nothing in this world comes that easy. Ate his food, lived in his house. I laughed. This apartment was bought by me before we got married, and I paid off the mortgage. I also covered the utilities, property fees, and living expenses. In these 8 years, has Chen Jingming ever given a single cent to this household? Not only that, he actually took 860,000 yuan from me. I have the transfer records. Zhong Tsuehua's face turned red and pale by turns. She knew I was telling the truth, but she still tried to argue out of stubbornness. So what, between husband and wife, your money is his money. It's only right that he spent your money. Now that he's sick, you have to take care of him. I'll say it again, I am not his wife. I said coldly, I have no obligation to take care of him. Just then the door to the operating room opened. The doctor walked out, took off his mask and said, The surgery was very successful. The patient is out of danger, however, he will need 24 hours of observation in the ICU. I let out a sigh of relief. Even though Chen Jingming had deceived me, I still wanted him to survive, not because I still loved him, but because only if he lived could I make him pay the price he deserved. Wonderful. Jingming is going to be fine, Zhong Tsuehua cried, tears of joy, then turned to me. Sunyan, did you hear that? Jingming is fine, you need to go pay his medical bills right away, then go take care of him in the ICU. I won't pay his medical bills and I won't take care of him, I said. Those things should be handled by his lawful wife. Wen Yining, I've already contacted her, she'll come from her hometown tomorrow. Wen Yining, Zhong Tsuehua's expression changed. I don't know any Wen Yining. I only recognize you as my daughter-in-law. If you dare neglect Jingming, I'll go to your workplace and make a scene and ruin your reputation. Go ahead, I said calmly. If you want to come to my workplace and cause trouble, I'll tell my colleagues all about how Chen Jingming got a marriage certificate with someone else and how he took 860,000 yuan from me. We'll see who ends up ruined. Zhong Tsuehua was left speechless. She never expected that I, always so meek and obedient, could become this tough. Just then my phone rang. It was my mother, Zhao Guilan. I answered the call. Hello Mom, Nian Nian, what's going on? Zhao Guilan's voice was very anxious. Your mother-in-law just called me saying that Jingming is sick. You're not taking care of him and you want a divorce. Mom, Chen Jingming registered his marriage with someone else 8 years ago. I said, I am not his legal wife. So what? Zhao Guilan said. You held a wedding ceremony and lived together for 8 years. Everyone knows you're a couple. Isn't it just a piece of paper? Is it really that important? Men make mistakes. Just forgive him this once. He's sick now, and this is the time he needs someone to take care of him. If you leave him at a moment like this, what will people say about you? Mom, how can you say that too? I said in disbelief. He deceived me for 8 years. I've been the other woman for 8 years. How can you expect me to forgive him? Don't call yourself the other woman. That's an ugly word, Zhao Guilan said. In a woman's life, isn't it all about finding a man to live with? Yes, Jingming made a mistake, but he has treated you fairly well. Just bear with it. When he gets better, have him divorce that woman and get a license with you. Isn't that fine? I will not bear with it, I said firmly. I've had enough. For 8 years I gave him everything I had and all I got in return was a lie. I will have nothing more to do with him. You, Zhao Guilan said angrily. If you dare break up with him, I won't have you as a daughter anymore. With that, she slammed down the phone. I put down my phone, my heart turning cold. Even my own mother wasn't on my side. She only cared about what others would think, only about whether I had a complete family. She didn't care how much grievance I had suffered or whether I was doing well. Zhong Tsuehua saw me hang up and said smugly, see, even your mother doesn't support you. I suggest you obediently go pay the medical bills and take care of Jingming, otherwise you'll have everyone against you. I looked at her and said calmly, having everyone against me is better than being a fool. I picked up my bag, turned around and left. Sunyan, come back here. Zhong Tsuehua shouted behind me. If you dare leave, I really will go make a scene at your workplace. I didn't look back. I walked out of the hospital with firm steps. Outside, the sky had already turned dark. The streetlights came on, casting a long shadow behind me. I took out my phone and called my best friend Juyu. She picked up quickly, her voice coming through. Nian Nian, how's it going? Was Chen Jingming's surgery successful? The surgery went well, I said. But Juyu, I'm getting a divorce. Divorce? Juyu was taken aback. Why the sudden decision? Weren't you two doing fine all along? He registered his marriage with someone else 8 years ago. I said calmly, I've been the other woman for 8 years. There was silence on the other end of the line for a few seconds. Then, Juyu said angrily, what, Chen Jingming, that bastard, how dare he do this to you? Nian Nian, don't be sad, I support you. A scumbag like that, you should have divorced him long ago. Where are you? I'm coming to find you right now. I'm at the hospital entrance. I said, okay, I'll be there right away, Juyu said. After hanging up the phone, I leaned against a tree by the roadside and watched the bustling traffic. Finally, I couldn't hold back the tears, not because I still loved Chen Jingming, but because I felt sorry for myself, sorry for the 8 years of my youth, sorry for the 8 years of effort, sorry for the foolish person I used to be. But it's okay, everything is over. From today on, I will no longer wrong myself for anyone. I will live for myself. Juyu drove over quickly when she saw me standing by the road crying. She immediately got out of the car and hugged me. Nian Nian, stop crying. Crying over a jerk like him isn't worth it. I leaned into her arms and cried for a long time. All the frustration and regret of 8 years poured out. After crying, I felt much lighter inside. Alright, I'm fine now. I dried my tears and said to Juyu, come home with me to pack my things. I'm moving out. Okay. Juyu nodded. I'll go with you. If that old woman tries to stop you, I'll give her a piece of my mind. I smiled. With Juyu by my side, I felt much more at ease. We drove to the house where Chen Jingming and I had lived for 8 years. This house was bought by my parents before I got married, and it is in my name. For these 8 years, Chen Jingming and I have lived here. Opening the door, home still looks as familiar as ever. Everywhere bears traces of my careful decoration. Once I thought this was my warm home. Now I realize it has merely been a stage for my one-woman show. I walked into the bedroom, took out a suitcase and began packing my things. I only packed my own clothes and personal items. I didn't touch any of Chen Jingming's belongings. As I was packing, the door suddenly burst open. Zhong Tsuehua barged in aggressively with several of Chen Jingming's relatives. Sun Yan, so you really are here packing up to run away? Zhong Tsuehua pointed at me and said viciously, let me tell you, don't even think about walking out that door today. This is my house. I can leave whenever I want. I said calmly, your house? Zhong Tsuehua sneered. You've been married to Jingming for 8 years. This house is marital property. Half of it belongs to Jingming. You can leave, but leave the house behind and pay Jingming 200,000 in medical expenses. In your dreams, I said, I bought this house before our marriage. As proven by the purchase contract and property deed, it has nothing to do with Chen Jingming. As for medical expenses, they should be borne by his lawful wife. When earning, they have nothing to do with me. What lawful wife? I don't recognize her. Zhong Tsuehua said hysterically. You are Jingming's wife. You should spend money to treat him. If you don't give the money, I'll die right in front of you. As she spoke, she lunged toward the wall. Her relatives quickly held her back, then one by one urged me, Xiao Su, for the sake of the 8 years you two were together, help Jingming out. That's right, a day as husband and wife, 100 days of grace. Now that he's sick, how can you turn your back on him? It's only 200,000 yuan, isn't it? You're the head nurse with a good salary. It shouldn't be hard for you to come up with it. I looked at them and found it utterly ridiculous. 8 years of devotion. I said, Chen Jingming deceived me for 8 years, treating me like a free housekeeper and an ATM. Did he ever show me any loyalty? I spent 860,000 yuan on him, and did he ever give me a single cent? Now that he's sick, he suddenly remembers me. Nothing in this world comes that cheap. Sun Yan, don't push your luck, a relative snapped. If you dare refuse to pay, we'll go to your workplace and cause a scene until you lose your job. Go ahead, I said. That'll be perfect. I can let my colleagues know exactly what kind of person Chen Jingming really is. I took out my phone and turned on the recording function. I've recorded everything you just said. If you dare come to my workplace and cause trouble, I'll call the police and report you for extortion and affray. The relatives' faces instantly changed. They hadn't expected me to record them. Zhong Tsuehua was also stunned. She had thought I was still the same pushover they could easily manipulate. She never imagined I had become this tough. You, how dare you record us? Zhong Tsuehua screeched. I'll fight you to the death. With that, she lunged at me, trying to snatch my phone. I sidestepped and immediately dialed 110. Hello, officer. I want to report a crime. Someone has broken into my home, is trying to extort me, and just attempted to assault me. My address is apartment XXX, building X, unit X, XX residential area. I hung up and looked at them coldly. The police will be here soon. If you don't want to be taken away, leave my house now. The relatives exchanged uneasy glances. They had only been brought by Zhong Tsuehua for show and didn't want to get tangled up with the police. Tsuehua, maybe we should leave first, one relative whispered. It won't be good if the police come. Yeah, let's talk about this after Jingming recovers. Zhong Tsuehua glared at me, her eyes full of venom, but she knew that having the police involved wouldn't benefit her. Sun Yan, just you wait, she spat. This isn't over. With that, she and the relatives slunk away. Watching them leave, I breathed a sigh of relief. I stopped the recording and put my phone back in my bag. Juyu walked over and patted my shoulder. Nyan Nyan, you were amazing. That was so cool. I smiled. I was forced into it. I used to think if I just endured things they'd pass, but now I know that swallowing your pride only makes others push harder. Exactly, Juyu said. You can't be soft with people like that. We continued packing. Soon 2 suitcases were full. I pulled the suitcases along and took one last look at the apartment. 8 years of my life had been spent here. There had been laughter, tears, hope, and disappointment. Now it was all over. I locked the door and left the keys with the property management. Tell Chen Jingming to pick up the keys from the property office himself once He's out of the hospital, I said to the staff member. Then Juyu and I walked out of the neighborhood together. As we got into the car, Juyu asked, "So where are you going to stay now?" "I'll stay at your place for now," I said. "Once I find a suitable apartment I'll move out." "No problem," Juyu said. "My guest room has been empty forever. Stay as long as you want." "Thank you, Juyu," I said, touched. In my hardest moments she was the only one on my side. "Don't mention it," Juyu said with a smile. "We're besties, aren't we?" The car drove off and the scenery outside the window receded behind us. I looked out the window, feeling calm inside. Though I had lost 8 years of my youth and the love I once believed in, I had finally shaken off the person who had been draining me. The road ahead was still long. I believed that as long as I kept moving forward bravely, things would only get better. Just then my phone rang. It was an unfamiliar number. I answered the call. "Is this MS Sunyan?" came a gentle female voice on the other end. "Yes, this is she. Who am I speaking with?" "This is Wen Yining," the woman said. "I've already arrived at the hospital. Can we meet?" My heart leaped. Wen Yining, Chen Jingming's legal wife, the woman who, like me, had been deceived by Chen Jingming for 8 years. "All right," I said. "Let's meet tomorrow at 10 in the morning at the coffee shop downtown." "Okay," Wen Yining said. "See you tomorrow." After hanging up, I looked out the window, my gaze turning resolute. Tomorrow I would meet another victim. Together we would make Chen Jingming pay the price he deserved. At 10 the next morning, I arrived promptly at the downtown coffee shop. When Yining was already there, she sat by the window, wearing a simple white blouse with her hair in a ponytail, looking very gentle and quiet. Her eyes were red, clearly from crying. When she saw me enter, she stood up and said somewhat nervously, "Hello, MS Sunyan." "Hello," I replied as I walked over and sat across from her. The waiter came and I ordered an Americano. For a moment neither of us spoke and the atmosphere grew a bit awkward. It was Wen Yining who broke the silence first. "I'm sorry, MS Sunyan, I really didn't know Chen Jingming was with you. I always thought he only had me." Her voice trembled slightly, her eyes welling up with tears again. "I know," I said calmly. "You're a victim too." Wen Yining looked up at me and the tears finally fell. "He and I met in 2015, he said he worked in construction and was stationed away from home all year. We got our marriage license in 2016 and after that he was always out of town, coming back only for a few days during the new year. I always thought he was busy with work and never doubted him. For these 8 years I've been living in his hometown, taking care of his parents, buying his brother an apartment and a car. He said he worked hard to make money and told me to be frugal. My monthly salary is only 3,000 yuan. After covering my own living expenses, I sent the rest to him. I thought I was contributing to our home. I never expected." She couldn't go on anymore and collapsed onto the table, sobbing. I looked at her, my heart full of bitterness. She, like me, was a fool who had been deceived by Chen Jingming for 8 years. We both thought we were Chen Jingming's only love, silently giving everything for the so-called family. In the end, we were just Chen Jingming's ATMs and unpaid housekeepers. I handed her a tissue. "Stop crying. Crying won't solve anything. Right now the most important thing is to join forces and make Chen Jingming pay the price he deserves." Wen Yining took the tissue, wiped her tears and nodded. "You're right, I can't just let this go. For 8 years I gave him everything I had. I can't let him off that easily." She looked up at me, her eyes growing resolute. "MS Sunyan, tell me what to do. I'll listen to you. First, tell me, how much money did Chen Jingming take from you?" I asked. When Yining took out her phone and opened the banking app. I did the math. Over these 8 years I transferred a total of 680,000 yuan to him, plus the 100,000 yuan dowry my parents gave me. He took that too. That's 780,000 yuan in total. I nodded. Added to the 860,000 yuan I gave him, Chen Jingming had defrauded the two of us of a total of 164 million yuan over 8 years. He also took out a 200,000 yuan bank loan in my name. When Yining said, he said his project funds were tight and asked me to take the loan for him. Now the loan is due, and the bank calls me every day demanding payment. My brow furrowed. This Chen Jingming had truly gone too far. "Don't worry, we'll find a way to make him pay back the money," I said. "I have the IOU he wrote for me as well as all the transfer records." "Do you have any IOUs he wrote for you?" "Yes," said Wen Yining. "Every time he borrowed money from me, he would write an IOU. I've kept all of them." "Good," I said. "With these IOUs and transfer records, we can sue him for fraud and recover our money." "But," Wen Yining hesitated, "what if he doesn't have the money? He does, I said. He's a project manager at a construction company, so he must have quite a bit of money. Besides, I also accidentally found his ledger showing embezzlement of company funds. If we report that to his company, he'll not only have to repay the money but also go to prison. Wen Yining's eyes lit up. Really, that's great. I'm definitely going to make sure he goes to jail. Just then, when Yining's phone rang, it was Chen Jingming. She glanced at me and I nodded, signaling her to answer. When Yining picked up and pressed the speaker button. Yining, where are you? Chen Jingming's voice came through, sounding weak. I'm in the city. When Yining said calmly, why did you suddenly go to the city? Chen Jingming asked, I'm sick. Why aren't you coming to the hospital to take care of me? Why would I take care of you? When Yining said, Chen Jingming, you've deceived me for 8 years. You have another woman in the city and you've been living with her for 8 years. You've been playing me for a fool all this time and you think I'd still take care of you. There was silence on the other end of the line for a few seconds. Then, Chen Jingming said, Yining, let me explain. My relationship with Sunyan was just a fling. The person I truly love has always been you. I was only with her for her money. Once I get the money, I'll break up with her and build a proper life with you. Shut up, Wen Yining said angrily. I will never believe your lies again. Chen Jingming, I want a divorce. I'm also going to sue you for fraud and make you return every penny you cheated from me. Yining, don't be like this, Chen Jingming said hastily. I know I was wrong. I truly know I was wrong. Can you give me one more chance? I will treat you well from now on. Not a chance. Wen Yining said firmly, I have already met with Ms. Sunyan. We will join forces to sue you. You can just wait to go to prison. With that, she hung up the phone. After hanging up, Wen Yining let out a long, deep sigh. How do you feel? I asked. I feel fantastic. Wen Yining smiled. For 8 years, I did everything he said and never dared to talk back. The moment I hung up on him just now, I felt like I was finally free. I smiled too. That's right, the feeling of liberation is truly wonderful. We chatted for a while longer and exchanged the evidence we had each gathered. We discovered that Chen Jingming's lies were virtually seamless. He told me he was single, held a wedding with me, yet had obtained a marriage certificate with Wen Yining. He told Wen Yining he worked away from home year-round, yet lived with me for 8 years. He deceived both of us, spent money on both of us, and played us both for fools. This Chen Jingming is absolutely terrifying. Wen Yining said, for 8 whole years he never once slipped up. Yeah, I said, if he hadn't had that sudden heart attack this time, we might never have known the truth. Thinking about it sends chills down my spine. If Chen Jingming hadn't had that heart attack, he could have fooled us for a lifetime. By the way, I suddenly remembered something. Do Chen Jingming's parents know about you? Wen Yining shook her head. No, I've never met his parents. He said they live abroad and rarely come back. Every year for the holidays, he went back to his hometown alone. I was stunned, so Zhong Xuehua knew about this too. She had known all along that Chen Jingming and Wen Yining had gotten their marriage certificate, yet she kept it from me, watching me give and give like a fool. No wonder she had always been so hard on me. No wonder she never let me meet Chen Jingming's other relatives. So the whole family had been deceiving me. My heart turned completely cold. This family is truly terrifying. Sunyan, what's wrong? Wen Yining asked, concerned, noticing my expression. Nothing. I shook my head. I just think their whole family is too hypocritical. Yeah, Wen Yining said, but it's okay. We'll be free of them soon. I nodded. That's right, soon everything will be over. We've also worked out a detailed counterattack plan. First, find a lawyer, then file a lawsuit with the court, and at the same time report Chen Jingming to his company for embezzling public funds. We must make Chen Jingming pay a heavy price for what he has done. When leaving the cafe, Wen Yining and I exchanged contact information. Watching her walk away, I felt deeply moved. 2 people who should have been enemies became allies because of the same scumbag. This is probably the power of women standing together. We don't need to tear each other apart. We can join forces to fight against those who have hurt us. I took out my phone and called Juyu. Juyu, help me recommend a good lawyer. I want to sue Chen Jingming. Juyu recommended a very skilled lawyer, Attorney Wang, who specializes in marriage, family, and economic dispute cases. The next day, Wen Yining and I went to Attorney Wang's office together. After reviewing the evidence we provided, Attorney Wang said very confidently, in your case, the evidence is very solid. Chen Jingming, with the intention of illegal possession, fabricated facts and concealed the truth to defraud both of you of your property. The amount is especially huge, which constitutes the crime of fraud. At the same time, His embezzlement of company project funds also constitutes the crime of misappropriating funds. As long as you file the lawsuit, he will definitely go to prison, and there's a good chance you'll get your money back. Hearing Attorney Wang's words, Wen Yining and I both breathed a sigh of relief. Can we file a lawsuit right now? Wen Yining asked. Yes, said Lawyer Wang. I will prepare the complaint for you right away. Once you sign it, we can submit it to the court at the same time. I will help you report the case to the public security authorities and file a complaint against Chen Jingming for fraud and embezzlement. That's great, I said. Thank you, Attorney Wang. You're welcome. Attorney Wang said, it's my job, rest assured I will do everything I can to help you seek justice. We spent the afternoon in Attorney Wang's office signing many documents. By the time we left the law firm it was already dark. Wen Yining and I went to have dinner together. During the meal, Wen Yining suddenly said, Ms. Sunyan, to be honest, I used to hate you. I thought you were the one who took my husband away. I know, I smiled. If I were in your shoes, I would hate me too. But after meeting you, I don't hate you anymore. Wen Yining said, you're a victim too. We were both deceived by Chen Jingming, and if it weren't for you I might never have known the truth and would have been fooled by him for life. Actually, I should thank you too, I said. If it weren't for you I wouldn't have known that I was the other woman for 8 years. We should thank each other. Wen Yining smiled. Yeah, from now on let's be friends. Friends. I smiled too. After dinner we each went home. Walking home, I felt a sense of peace in my heart. Before, I always carried everything on my own. Now I have a friend, a comrade in arms. I am no longer alone. The next day, Attorney Wang filed a complaint with the court and also reported the case to the police. The police quickly accepted the case. The news reached Chen Jingming. He called me countless times, but I didn't answer. He also sent me numerous text messages, alternating between threats and pleas. Sunyan, if you dare sue me, I'll kill your whole family. Nyan Nyan. I know I was wrong. Can you forgive me this once? We have 8 years of history. Don't you care at all? Drop the lawsuit. I'll divorce Wen Yining right away and get a marriage license with you. Reading those messages, I felt nothing but disgust. I blocked his number. Then I put my phone on silent and continued working. I am the head nurse of the pediatrics department, with many things to do every day. I don't have time to waste on Chen Jingming. That afternoon, while I was making rounds in the wards, a nurse from the nurses' station suddenly called me. Head Nurse Su, please come to the station quickly. Chen Jingming's mother is here, causing a huge scene, demanding to see you. My brows furrowed. This Zhong Tsuehua just wouldn't go away. I said to the nurses beside me, you continue with the rounds, I'll go check. I walked to the nurses' station and saw Zhong Tsuehua sitting on the floor, thrashing about and cursing non-stop. That vile woman Sunyan, ungrateful. She took all my son's money and now wants to send him to jail. I'll die right here and ruin her reputation. A crowd of patients and their families had gathered, pointing and whispering. I walked over and said coldly, Zhong Tsuehua, have you caused enough trouble? This is a hospital, not a place for your tantrums. If you keep this up, I'll call the police. Call the police, go ahead. Zhong Tsuehua stood up and pointed at my nose, yelling, let the police be the judge. You deceived my son for 8 years, took all his money, and now want to send him to prison. What kind of heartless woman exists in this world? I deceived him. I laughed. Zhong Tsuehua, do you dare say in front of everyone here that Chen Jingming didn't get a marriage license with Wen Yining 8 years ago? Do you dare say you didn't know about it? Zhong Tsuehua's face instantly changed. She hadn't expected me to expose this publicly. The people around overheard my words and erupted in an uproar. What? Her son got a license with someone else? So Head Nurse Su was the other woman for 8 years. That's outrageous. He deceived her for 8 years and now his mother has the nerve to come here and make a scene. Exactly. This old woman is the one who's unreasonable. Zhong Tsuehua, seeing everyone pointing fingers at her, grew even angrier. Don't listen to her nonsense. She's slandering my son. My son is her lawful husband. Wen Yining is the mistress. Oh really? I took out my phone, opened the photo of Chen Jingming and Wen Yining's marriage certificate, and held it up for everyone to see. Look carefully everyone. This is the marriage certificate of Chen Jingming and Wen Yining. The registration date is May 20, 2016, the same day Chen Jingming and I held our wedding ceremony. Everyone crowded around to look. After seeing it, they understood everything. So that's how it is. This old woman and her son have been deceiving this young lady together. How immoral. They tricked her for 8 years, and now they have the nerve to cause trouble here. Throw her out. Don't let her disrupt the hospital order. Zhong Tsuehua, Seeing the anger in everyone's eyes grew frightened, she pointed at me and said viciously, "Sunyan, just you wait, I won't let you off." Then she scurried away, watching her retreating figure. Everyone applauded. "Nurse Sue, you're amazing. You can't be soft on people like that. We all support you." I looked at everyone and smiled. "Thank you all, I'm sorry for the disturbance, please go back to your work." The crowd dispersed. A nurse at the station said to me, "Nurse Sue, that was so cool, that old woman is finally gone." I smiled. "Alright everyone, go back to work." I turned and returned to the ward to continue my rounds. My heart was calm. Before, I was always afraid Zhong Xuehua would come to the hospital to cause trouble, afraid people would laugh at me. Now I understand, I am not the one who did wrong, so I have nothing to fear. The ones who should be ashamed are Chen Jingming and Zhong Xuehua. When I got off work that evening, I received a text from an unknown number. It was Chen Jingming. "Sunyan, tomorrow at 10 a.m. I'll be waiting for you at my company. Let's talk. If you don't come, I'll come to the hospital and make sure you never hold your head up again." I looked at the text and sneered. "Talk, what is there to talk about?" Still, I wanted to go to his company and expose his true face. I replied, "Fine, tomorrow at 10 a.m. I'll be there on time." Then I called Wen Yining. "Yining, tomorrow at 10 a.m. Chen Jingming has asked me to meet at his company to talk. Do you want to come along?" "Of course I'll come," Wen Yining said. "We'll go together and expose his true face." "Good," I said. "See you tomorrow." I hung up and looked out at the night view. Tomorrow would be Chen Jingming's nightmare. At 10 a.m. the next day, Wen Yining and I arrived on time at Chen Jingming's construction company. The company was on the 15th floor of an office building. As we walked in, the receptionist stopped us. "May I ask who you're looking for?" "We're looking for Chen Jingming," I said. "Do you have an appointment?" The receptionist asked. "No, tell him Sunyan and Wen Yining are here to see him," I said. The receptionist hesitated but still called Chen Jingming's office. After hanging up, she said to us, "Mr. Chen is waiting for you in his office, please follow me." We followed her to the door of Chen Jingming's office. She knocked. "Mr. Chen, MS Su and MS Wen are here. Come in," came Chen Jingming's voice from inside. We pushed the door open and walked in. Chen Jingming sat behind his desk wearing a hospital gown, his face still pale. It seemed he had come straight to the company after being discharged. Seeing us enter, he stood up and forced a smile. "Nian Nian, Yining, you're here, please sit." We did not sit. I looked at him calmly and said, "Chen Jingming, just say what you have to say. We don't have time to waste on you." Chen Jingming's smile froze on his face. He walked over to us, looked at me and said, "Nian Nian, I know I was wrong. I really know I was wrong. Can you drop the charges? We've been together for 8 years. Don't you care about that at all? 8 years of feelings." I laughed. "Chen Jingming, did you ever have feelings for me? The only reason you were with me was for my money, and now you dare to talk to me about feelings. That's not true, Nian Nian," Chen Jingming said hurriedly. "I do have feelings for you. I was just momentarily confused and got the certificate with Wen Yining. Give me another chance, I'll divorce her right away and get the certificate with you. We'll live a good life together from now on, okay?" Chen Jingming, shut up, Wen Yining said angrily. "Just now you told me that you love me, that you'd break up with Sunyan and build a good life with me. Now you're saying this to her. Have you no shame?" Chen Jingming's face turned red and then pale. He looked at Wen Yining and said, "Yining, don't listen to her nonsense. The person I love is you. I was just lying to her earlier, trying to get her to drop the lawsuit. Once she withdraws the case, I'll cut ties with her and live a proper life with you." "Who are you trying to fool?" Wen Yining said. "I will never believe your lies again. Chen Jingming, we have already sued you. You can just wait to go to prison. Are you determined to force my hand?" Chen Jingming's face darkened. "Let me tell you this, if I go to prison, you won't get a single penny back, and I won't let any of you off the hook either." "Who are you trying to scare?" I said. "Chen Jingming, we have all the evidence of your fraud and embezzlement. Even if you don't go to prison, you'll still have to return every penny you swindled from us. What's more, we've already reported your misappropriation of the company's project funds to your corporate headquarters. I'm sure they'll send someone to investigate you soon." Chen Jingming's expression changed drastically. You actually dared to report me. Why wouldn't I dare?" I said. "You've done illegal things and you should be punished by the law." Just then the office door was suddenly pushed open. A few employees walked in, followed by a man in a suit. "Chen Jingming, these are investigators sent from headquarters," one employee said. Chen Jingming's face turned as pale as paper. He hadn't expected headquarters to send people so quickly. The man in the suit stepped up to Chen Jingming and said sternly, Chen Jingming, we have received a report accusing you of embezzling over 3 million yuan of the company's construction funds. Now, please cooperate with our investigation. I did not embezzle funds. Chen Jingming said hurriedly. They are framing me, Sun Yan and Wen Yining are framing me. Whether it's a frame-up or not, we'll find out after our investigation. The man said, please produce the company's account books and financial statements. Chen Jingming stood there motionless. Of course he did not dare to produce them. The account books clearly recorded every sum he had embezzled. Just then a woman walked in. It was Sister Li, the accountant at Chen Jingming's company, holding a stack of documents. She approached the man and said, Manager Liu, these are the account books and bank statements showing Chen Jingming's embezzlement. I have organized everything. Chen Jingming looked at Sister Li in disbelief. Sister Li, you betrayed me. Chen Jingming, you owe me half a year's wages and made me falsify accounts to help you embezzle funds. I wanted out long ago, Sister Li said. Besides, you deceived Nurse Su and teacher Wen for so many years. You're not a real man. It turned out Sister Li was the accountant who had contacted me earlier, claiming to have evidence of Chen Jingming's embezzlement. Manager Liu took the account books and transaction records, glanced at them, and his expression grew even more severe. Chen Jingming, the evidence is ironclad. What do you have to say for yourself? Chen Jingming slumped in his chair, speechless. I looked at him and said calmly, Chen Jingming, you brought this upon yourself. Then I addressed all the employees in the office. You may not know this, but Chen Jingming not only embezzled company funds but is also a fraud in relationships. 8 years ago, he obtained a marriage certificate with Ms. Wen Yining, yet he also held a wedding ceremony with me and lived with me for 8 years over. Those 8 years he swindled more than 16 million yuan from the two of us. I took out Chen Jingming's marriage certificate and transfer records and held them up for everyone to see. These are the evidence. We have already sued him for fraud in court and also reported the case to the police. Soon, he will face the judgment of the law. The office erupted in uproar. The employees were stunned. They never expected that Chen, who usually appeared so respectable, could be this kind of person. Oh my God. How could Mr. Chen be like this? This is terrifying. He deceived 2 women for 8 years. And embezzling company money, that's just too much. No wonder he kept delaying our salaries. He was squandering the money. Several employees who were owed wages were immediately furious. Chen Jingming, pay us our salaries. Yes, pay us our salaries. The employees gathered around, demanding that Chen Jingming release their wages. Chen Jingming looked at the angry employees, then at the investigators from headquarters, and was completely panicked. He suddenly stood up, trying to rush over and hit me. Sun Yan, I'll kill you. Fortunately, the nearby employee reacted quickly and stopped him. Chen Jingming, are you crazy? You want to hit someone too? Manager Liu took out his phone and dialed 110. Hello? Officer, someone here has embezzled public funds and is trying to resort to violence. The address is the 15th floor of XX office building. Chen Jingming watched Manager Liu make the call and knew he was completely finished. He collapsed to the floor, covering his face and sobbing. Looking at his pathetic state, I felt no sympathy at all. He deserved every bit of this. When Yining and I exchanged glances, seeing the relief in each other's eyes, we turned and walked out of the office. As we stepped out of the office building, the sunlight fell on us, warm and cozy. It's finally over. When Yining said with a smile, not completely over yet, I replied, it won't truly end until the court delivers the verdict and he's behind bars. When Yining nodded. But honestly, today was so satisfying. Seeing him like that made me feel so much better. I also smiled. Yeah, so satisfying. We went to lunch together to celebrate today's victory. While eating, I received a text from Attorney Wang. Chen Jingming has been taken away by the police on suspicion of misappropriating funds. Now, we just wait for the court hearing. I showed the text to Wen Yining. Wen Yining said happily, that's great, he's finally been arrested. I looked out the window, feeling very calm. The 8-year deception was finally coming to an end. I believe the law will give us a just verdict. News that Chen Jingming was taken away by the police spread quickly. His relatives and friends all learned what he had done and distanced themselves from him one after another. Zhong Cuihua also didn't dare to come to the hospital to cause trouble anymore. I thought that was the end of it. Unexpectedly, Chen Jingming still hadn't given up from the detention center. He had someone send a private message to a self-media blogger, portraying himself as a victim framed by 2 women working together. He claimed that when Yining and I had colluded to falsely accuse him of fraud and embezzlement just for his money, he also said I had cheated during the marriage, taken all his property and driven him to desperation. The blogger didn't verify the truth and posted the article online. The article was tearfully written, depicting Chen Jingming as a deeply devoted and pitiable man, while painting Wen Yining and me as greedy, vicious women. The article quickly went viral and made it to the local trending list. Many netizens, unaware of the facts, began cursing Wen Yining and me online. Women these days are terrifying, colluding to frame their own husband just for money. Exactly, so vicious. The man is sick and they still want to send him to prison. This Sun Yan is even a head nurse. How could she be so malicious? Suggest the hospital fire her. Someone like this doesn't deserve to be a nurse. Others dug up my workplace and phone number and called the hospital to insult me. There have also started to be some rumors in the hospital. I didn't expect head nurse Sue to be that kind of person. Yeah, she usually seemed so gentle, but who knew she could be so ruthless? I heard she even cheated during her marriage. Shameless. Hearing these words stung and I felt deeply wronged. I am clearly the victim, so why have I become the villain in everyone's eyes? Juyu was furious when she saw the online comments. These people have no sense of right or wrong. How can they just believe online rumors like that? I'll go find that blogger and make him take down the post and apologize. It's no use. I sighed. Now everyone believes Chen Jingming's words. The more we try to explain, the more they think we're making excuses. What do we do then? Juyu asked anxiously. We can't just let them slander you like this. Don't worry, I said. A clean hand wants no washing soon. The truth will come out. Even as I said this, I felt terrible inside. I had been the head nurse of the pediatrics department for 10 years, always diligent and dedicated to my patients. I had never done anything to be ashamed of, and now, I was being falsely accused of being a greedy, vicious woman. Anyone would be upset. After work that evening, my mother, Zhao Guilan, called me. The moment I answered, before I could even speak, she began scolding me harshly. Sun Yan, look at what you've done. The whole village knows about it now. You sent Chen Jingming to prison and now people are calling you a wicked woman. You've brought shame on me. Mom, that's not how it is. Chen Jingming deceived me for 8 years. I'm the victim, I said, feeling wronged. The victim? Zhao Guilan sneered. Why would he deceive you instead of someone else? It's because you're foolish. I told you long ago to just endure it, but you wouldn't listen. Now everyone knows, and how will you ever marry again? Why should I marry again? I said. I'm doing just fine on my own. Besides, Chen Jingming is the one who did wrong, not me. I have nothing to be ashamed of. Still being stubborn, Zhao Guilan said angrily. Let me tell you, drop the lawsuit immediately. Get Chen Jingming out and live a proper life with him, otherwise you're no daughter of mine. With that she hung up harshly. Holding my phone, I finally couldn't hold back my tears. Even my own mother didn't believe me. She only cared about what others thought, not about how much I had suffered. Just as I was feeling heartbroken, my phone rang again. It was Wen Yining. Wiping my tears, I answered. Hello Yining. Sun Yan, have you seen the news online? Wen Yining sounded very anxious. Those people have gone too far, slandering us like this. I saw it, I said. It's fine, let them talk. How can it be fine? Wen Yining said. This slander affects our lives too much. Even the leaders at my school have called me in for a talk. No, we can't just let this go. We have to fight back. How do we fight back? I asked. Let's go live. Wen Yining said. We'll present all the evidence and expose Chen Jingming's true face in front of netizens. Let everyone see who the real victim is. I was stunned. Go live. I had never thought of that. But I don't want to expose my private life to the public, I said. I know, Wen Yining said. But right now, we have no other choice. If we don't fight back, everyone will keep believing Chen Jingming's lies and will continue to be attacked. Besides, we need to let more people know about Chen Jingming's deception so no more victims fall for it. I thought it over and felt that Wen Yining was right. If we didn't fight back, more people would just be misled, and I didn't want to keep living under other people's slander. Alright, I said, let's go live. Great, Wen Yining said. Let's prepare now and start streaming at 8 tonight. Okay, I said. After hanging up, I took a deep breath. Since I couldn't avoid it, I would face it bravely. I would let everyone know the truth. I would make sure Chen Jingming's lies were completely exposed. At 8 that evening, Wen Yining and I started the live stream right on time. At first, the comments in the stream were all insults. The wicked woman is here. Get out of the stream. Give Mr. Chen back his justice. I ignored the comments and said calmly, hello everyone. I'm Sun Yan, this is Wen Yining. Today we're live streaming to talk about Chen Jingming. Then I took out Chen Jingming and Wen Yining's marriage certificate as well as the wedding photos of Chen Jingming and me. Take a good look. This is the marriage certificate of Chen Jingming and Wen Yining, registered on May 20, 2016. These are my wedding photos with Chen Jingming, also from May 20, 2016. That means on the same day, Chen Jingming got a marriage license with Wen Yining and had a wedding ceremony with me. The comments in the live stream suddenly dwindled. Everyone was stunned. I continued. For the past 8 years, Chen Jingming has been living with me while maintaining a marital relationship with Wen Yining, using work as an excuse. Over those 8 years, he took 860,000 yuan from me and 780,000 yuan from Wen Yining. These are all our transfer records and promissory notes. I showed the transfer records and promissory notes one by one to everyone. Then Wen Yining took out a bank's collection text message. Chen Jingming also took out a 200,000 yuan loan from the bank in my name. Now that the loan is due, the bank calls me every day demanding repayment. Next, I brought out a copy of the ledger showing Chen Jingming's embezzlement of public funds. This is the ledger of Chen Jingming embezzling over 3 million yuan in project funds from the company. He used the embezzled funds not only for personal extravagance but also to support a mistress. Oh no, I'm the mistress. I laughed bitterly at myself. The comments in the live stream completely flipped. Oh my god, so that's what happened. Chen Jingming is such a scumbag, deceiving 2 women for 8 years. How terrifying. Sorry. Nurse Su, Teacher Wen, we were wrong about you. Chen Jingming deserves jail. Even the death penalty wouldn't be enough. Support Nurse Su, support Teacher Wen, that scumbag must pay. Seeing these comments, warmth filled my heart. Finally, someone believed us. Wen Yining and I answered more questions from netizens, laying out all of Chen Jingming's deceptions in detail. After streaming for an hour, we ended the broadcast. Afterward, I checked public opinion online. It had completely reversed. Everyone was cursing Chen Jingming and supporting Wen Yining and me. The self-media blogger who spread the rumors had also deleted their article and issued an apology. The hospital leaders talked to me, saying they trusted my character and told me not to be affected by online comments but to focus on my work. The weight on my heart finally lifted. It turned out that as long as you bravely step forward and tell the truth, you will definitely receive understanding and support from others. The next day, my mother Zhao Guilan called me again. This time her tone was much softer. Nyan Nyan, I'm sorry, it was my fault for misjudging you. I watched your live stream and know you've been wronged. Hearing my mother's apology, my tears immediately fell. Mom, good child, don't cry, Zhao Guilan said. It was my fault for not believing you. Do whatever you want to do, I support you. Thank you, Mom, I said, choking up. After hanging up, I felt much lighter. Even my mother understood me now. I had no more worries. All that was left was to wait for the court's verdict. After the online storm passed, everything returned to peace. I went to work normally, took care of the patients, and lived a calm and fulfilling life. Wen Yining also went back to her hometown and continued her job as a primary school teacher. We talked on the phone every day, encouraging each other. Attorney Wang has been following our case and gathering more evidence. That day, Attorney Wang called me, saying there was something important to discuss with us. Wen Yining and I went to the law firm together. Attorney Wang took out a stack of documents and said to us, I have some good news. The public security authorities have concluded their investigation and transferred Chen Jingming's case to the Procuratorate. After review, the Procuratorate determined that the evidence is sufficient and has initiated a public prosecution with the court. The court will hold a trial next month. Great. Wen Yining and I both said happily. However, Attorney Wang paused. Chen Jingming's defense attorney has argued that Chen Jingming and Wen Yining are legally married, so their financial transactions fall under marital community property and do not constitute fraud. As for his relationship with Sun Yan, although they do not have a marriage certificate, it qualifies as a de facto marriage, and their financial transactions also fall under community property. Therefore, he believes Chen Jingming should not be charged with fraud. I frowned. How is that possible? He clearly fabricated facts and concealed the truth to defraud us of our money. How can that be considered community property? Exactly, Wen Yining said anxiously. He never even lived with me. How can it be marital community property? Don't worry, Attorney Wang said. I have already figured out a counterargument. Chen Jingming claims that he and Sun Yan have a de facto marriage, However, the legal standard for a de facto marriage requires that the couple live together as husband and wife and that those around them recognize them as such, although you held a wedding ceremony. And people around you consider you a couple. Chen Jingming also maintains a legal marital relationship with Wen Yining, therefore, his relationship with Sun Yan cannot possibly constitute a de facto marriage, it can only be considered illegal cohabitation. What about him and Wen Yining? I asked. Although they are legally married, he has never lived with Wen Yining nor fulfilled his duties as a husband. His purpose in marrying Wen Yining was solely to defraud her of her money, therefore this does not count as marital property, it is fraud, said lawyer Wang. But how can we prove that his purpose in marrying was to swindle money? Wen Yining asked. That's easy, said lawyer Wang. We have already found several witnesses. A former colleague of Chen Jingming said that Chen once told them he married Wen Yining because she is gentle, easy to control and could provide him with money. Also, after marrying Wen Yining, Chen Jingming never appeared in her hometown or met her parents and relatives. All of this proves that he never intended to build a life with Wen Yining. Great, I said. That way, his defense lawyer's argument won't hold up. Exactly, said lawyer Wang. Moreover, we have an even more compelling piece of evidence. Sister Li provided Chen Jingming's personal ledger, which records where the money he defrauded from both of you went. Most of it was used for gambling and supporting his mistress, with nothing spent on household expenses. Wen Yining and I exchanged a glance, both seeing the anger in each other's eyes. So the money we had worked so hard to earn was all squandered on his gambling and mistress. This Chen Jingming was absolutely detestable. And there's more, attorney Wang continued. We've also found that while Chen Jingming was involved with both of you, he was simultaneously having improper relationships with several other women and he defrauded them of significant amounts of money as well. We've already gotten in touch with 2 of those women and they are willing to testify in court to indict Chen Jingming for fraud. Wen Yining and I were both stunned. We never expected that Chen Jingming had duped so many women at the same time. He is nothing but a thorough con artist. This gives us a very complete chain of evidence. Attorney Wang said. Chen Jingming, with the intent of unlawful possession, fabricated facts, concealed the truth and defrauded multiple women of their property. The amount involved is extraordinarily large and the circumstances are particularly egregious. The court will surely hand down a severe punishment. Upon hearing attorney Wang's words, both Wen Yining and I breathed a sigh of relief. Our efforts were not in vain. Chen Jingming will certainly receive the punishment he deserves. Leaving the law firm, Wen Yining and I went to have a meal together. I really never imagined that Chen Jingming had also deceived other women. Wen Yining said, it's absolutely terrifying. Yes, it is, I said. Thank goodness we discovered the truth in time, otherwise who knows how much longer he would have deceived us. Speaking of which, I owe you my thanks. Wen Yining looked at me and said, if it weren't for you, I might never have known the truth and would have been fooled by him for my whole life. Don't thank me, I said with a smile. We helped each other. Without you, I wouldn't have been able to expose his true colors so smoothly. We smiled at each other. After going through so much, we had become best friends. After the meal, when Yining was going back to her hometown, I saw her off at the station. I'll come back when the court session begins. When Yining said, okay, I said, take care on the road, call me when you arrive. When Yining nodded, you take care of yourself too, don't overwork. I know, I said. Watching Wen Yining board the train, I felt a surge of emotion. 2 women who were complete strangers came together because of the same scumbag, supporting and helping each other. This is probably the most beautiful kind of bond between women. Back at the hospital, I continued working. Pediatric work is always busy, but also very healing. Seeing the innocent, carefree smiles of the children makes all worries vanish. I thought to myself, after this case is over, I will apply to go teach in the mountains for a year. I want to see more of the world and help children in need. I want to completely shake off the shadows of the past and start a new life. There is still 1 week left until the court hearing. That day, attorney Wang called me and said the court had organized a mediation session, asking whether Wen Yining and I wanted to participate. Mediation. I was taken aback. Is Chen Jingming willing to mediate? Yes, attorney Wang said. His defense lawyer stated that Chen Jingming is willing to return all your money and hopes you can forgive him and issue a letter of leniency so the court can give him a lighter sentence. I thought for a moment and said, let me ask Yining for her opinion. I called Wen Yining and told her about the mediation. Mediation. Wen Yining said, I don't agree. He deceived us for 8 years and caused us so much harm. How can a simple apology make everything go away? I want him to go to prison. I feel the same way, I said. We can get the money back through legal channels, but he must pay for his actions. Then let's reject the mediation. Wen Yining said, all right, I said. I called Attorney Wang back and told him we refused the mediation. Okay, Attorney Wang said, I will inform the court, then we'll wait for the hearing. After hanging up the phone, I felt very calm. Money is no longer the most important thing to me. What matters most is that Chen Jingming faces legal sanctions and learns that deceiving others' emotions and money comes with a price. The next day in the court's mediation room, Chen Jingming's mother, Zhong Tsuehua, and several of his relatives arrived. Chen Jingming was brought in as well. He was wearing a prison uniform, his hair was messy, and he looked much haggard. Seeing Wen Yining and me, he immediately rushed over, trying to grab our hands. The bailiff stopped him. Nian Yining, I know I was wrong, Chen Jingming said tearfully. Please forgive me just this once. I'm willing to pay back all the money. I'll never dare to do it again. Could you write a letter of forgiveness so the court can give me a lighter sentence? No way, I said coldly. Chen Jingming, you deceived us for 8 years and caused us so much harm. Do you think a simple I'm sorry can make it all go away? That's right, Wen Yining said. We will not forgive you. Just wait to go to prison. Sun Yan, Wen Yining, I'm begging you, Zhong Tsuehua said tearfully. Jingming knows he was wrong. If he goes to prison, his life will be ruined. Please, for the sake of the past 8 years, forgive him this once. Past 8 years, I laughed. Your family deceived me for 8 years. And you want to talk about loyalty and affection when you were spending my money and enjoying my care? Where was that sentiment then? Now that he's facing prison, you suddenly remember it. It's too late. Zhong Tsuehua was so angry she couldn't speak. Just then one of Chen Jingming's relatives spoke up. Sun Yan, Wen Yining, just forgive Jingming this time. If he goes to prison, those of us relatives won't get our money back either. I looked at him and said, your money was swindled by Chen Jingming. It has nothing to do with us. You should be asking Chen Jingming for it, not begging us. Exactly, another relative said. It's all that bastard Chen Jingming's fault. He cheated us out of so much money. I cut ties with him long ago. Same here. I'm never acknowledging that relative again. For a moment, Chen Jingming's relatives all began to blame him. They hadn't come to plead for mercy on his behalf at all. They just wanted to see if they could get their own money back. Chen Jingming looked at the relatives accusing him and said in disbelief, how can you treat me like this? I've always been good to you, been good to us. One relative sneered. You borrowed 100,000 from me, said you'd pay it back in a year, and now it's been 3 years, still nothing. How dare you say you've been good to us? Exactly, you borrowed 200,000 from me, said it was for a construction project, but you ended up gambling it away. You're nothing but a liar. The relatives grew angrier as they spoke, all demanding that Chen Jingming repay their money. Watching the scene of total betrayal and isolation, Chen Jingming completely broke down. He squatted on the ground, clutching his head and bursting into tears. Zhong Tsuehua, seeing her son cry, followed suit and wept, but no one felt any sympathy for them. They had brought it all upon themselves. The judge looked at the scene, shook his head and said, since both parties cannot reach a mediation agreement, we will wait for the court hearing. With that, the judge left. The bailiff took Chen Jingming away. As Chen Jingming walked, he kept looking back at Wen Yining and me, his eyes filled with despair. Wen Yining and I turned and walked out of the mediation room. The sunlight outside was beautiful. Seeing him like that really made me feel relieved. Wen Yining said, yeah, I said, this is what it feels like to be utterly forsaken. By the way, Wen Yining said, those relatives just mentioned that Chen Jingming also scammed them out of a lot of money, over 2 million in total. I said, adding our 1.6 million and the company's over 3 million, he scammed nearly 7 million in total. Even if he sold off all his assets, it wouldn't be enough to repay. Can we still get our money back? Wen Yining asked worriedly. We should be able to recover some of it, I said. Chen Jingming still has a house and a car. The court will auction off his property to pay off the debts. That's good, Wen Yining said. We'll recover whatever we can. I don't really care about the money anymore, as long as he goes to prison. Same here, I said. We walked out of the courthouse together, looking at the clear blue sky. I felt calm inside. In another week everything would be over. Finally, I could completely break free from the past and start a new life. A week later, the court publicly heard the case of Chen Jingming's fraud and embezzlement of funds. When Yining and I appeared in court as victims to testify, the courtroom was packed with people, our family and friends, Chen Jingming's relatives, and many media reporters. When the trial began, the prosecutor read the indictment, charging Chen Jingming with fraud and embezzlement of funds. Then the prosecutor presented the relevant evidence: Chen Jingming and Wen Yining's marriage certificate, the wedding photos of me and Chen Jingming, transfer records, IOUs, the embezzlement ledger, witness testimonies, and more. The evidence was solid, ironclad. Chen Jingming's defense attorney still stuck to the original argument, claiming that Chen Jingming and Wen Yining were legally married while his relationship with me constituted a de facto marriage, and that the financial transactions between them were joint property and did not constitute fraud. Then it was my turn and Wen Yining's turn to testify in court. I stood in the witness box and calmly recounted the experiences of the past 8 years, from meeting Chen Jingming in 2015, to holding our wedding in 2016, and then discovering in 2024 that he had legally married someone else. Over those 8 years, I described how I had covered all the household expenses, paid off his gambling debts, cared for his sick mother, and terminated 2 pregnancies for his sake. I did not cry, nor did I become emotional. I just calmly stated the facts. Yet everyone in the courtroom could hear the grievance and heartbreak in my voice. Many people quietly wiped away tears. Then, Wen Yining also took the stand, recounting how she had been deceived by Chen Jingming. She described how she had single-handedly taken care of Chen Jingming's parents in their hometown, sent him all of her wages, and been tricked into taking out a loan of 200,000 yuan in her name by Chen Jingming. When she reached the most painful parts, Wen Yining could not hold back her tears. The courtroom fell completely silent. Everyone looked at Chen Jingming with angry eyes. Next, 2 other women who had been deceived by Chen Jingming also testified, sharing their own experiences of being tricked by him. Then Sister Li testified, confirming that Chen Jingming had misappropriated over 3 million yuan in project funds from the company. All the evidence pointed to Chen Jingming. His defense attorney had no room left for argument. Finally, the judge asked Chen Jingming, "Defendant Chen Jingming, do you have any objections to the criminal facts and charges stated in the indictment?" Chen Jingming lowered his head and remained silent for a long time. Then he looked up, gazed at me and Wen Yining, and said, "I confess." The courtroom erupted in commotion. "He actually confessed," the judge said. "Since you confess, is there anything you wish to say?" Chen Jingming looked at me, his eyes filled with remorse. "I have wronged Sun Yan, wronged Wen Yining, and wronged everyone I deceived. I know I was wrong. I truly know I was wrong. I should never have deceived their feelings or defrauded them of their money. I deeply regret it now. If I could do it all over again, I would never act this way." He paused, then continued, "Actually, when I first got together with Sun Yan, I truly liked her, but later I met Wen Yining, who was more docile and obedient than Sun Yan. Moreover, Sun Yan was too capable. Being with her always made me feel inferior, so I registered my marriage with Wen Yining. I had planned that after I made a lot of money, I would divorce Wen Yining and live a good life with Sun Yan. But then I got addicted to gambling and lost a great deal of money. To repay my debts, I kept cheating them out of their money, cheating relatives and friends out of theirs, and eventually embezzled the company's project funds. The deeper I sank, the more impossible it became to turn back. So that was the truth. He had once liked me, but because of his inferiority complex, he chose the more docile Wen Yining later for the sake of gambling. He became a complete swindler. I looked at him, feeling not a single ripple in my heart. Regardless of his motives, the harm he caused me was beyond repair. Defendant Chen Jingming, the judge said, "The facts of your crime are clear, and the evidence is sufficient and solid. Your actions constitute the crimes of fraud and misappropriation of funds in accordance with Articles 266 and 272 of the Criminal Law of the People's Republic of China." The judgment is as follows. Everyone held their breath, waiting for the verdict. The defendant, Chen Jingming, is sentenced to 11 years in prison and a fine of 500,000 renminbi for fraud, and 6 years in prison for misappropriation of funds. In the combined punishment for multiple crimes, the executed sentence is 15 years in prison and a fine of 500,000 RMB. The defendant, Chen Jingming, is ordered to return all illegal gains and distribute them to the victims. The moment the verdict was announced, Chen Jingming collapsed in the defendant's seat. Zhong Cuihua also fainted. When Yining and I exchanged a glance and saw the relief in each other's eyes. 15 years, Chen Jingming would spend 15 years in prison. It was the punishment he deserved after the trial. When Yining and I walked out of the courthouse, a large number of media reporters were gathered outside. Seeing us come out, the reporters swarmed around for interviews. Nurse Su, Teacher Wen, are you satisfied with this verdict? Is there anything you would like to say now? What are your plans for the future? I looked into the camera and said calmly, we are very satisfied with this verdict. The law has given us a fair judgment. We hope that Chen Jingming can reform himself and become a better person in prison. At the same time, we hope this case will make more people vigilant and not fall for romantic scammers. Wen Yining also said, I hope all women will stay clear-headed in relationships and not easily fall for sweet talk. If you are harmed, be brave enough to take up legal weapons to protect yourselves. With that we left. Once we were in the car, Wen Yining let out a long sigh of relief. It's finally over. Yeah, I said, it's finally over. The 8-year deception had finally come to an end. Though we lost a lot, we also gained a lot. We gained courage, growth, and precious friendship. More importantly, we finally broke free from the person who had been draining us and regained our freedom. The car moved forward and the scenery outside the window kept receding. I looked out the window and showed a relieved smile. What was past was past. The future will only get better and better. After the court's judgment, Chen Jingming did not appeal. Once the judgment took effect, he was sent to prison to serve his sentence. The court also began auctioning off his property to repay his debts. His house and car sold for a total of 1.2 million yuan. Proportionally, I received 450,000 yuan, Wen Yining received 380,000 yuan, and the remainder was distributed among the other victims and the company. Although not all the money was recovered, we were already quite satisfied. Lost money can be earned again, but freedom and dignity are things that no amount of money can buy. On the day we received the money, Wen Yining and I went out for a meal to celebrate our complete liberation from Chen Jingming. Finally, we can start a new life, Wen Yining said with a smile. I plan to use this money to renovate my house back in my hometown and then continue working as an elementary school teacher. That's great. I said, I plan to apply to teach as a volunteer in a mountain area for a year. I want a change of scenery and some time to adjust. Teach as a volunteer. Wen Yining was taken aback. What about your job? The hospital has already agreed. I said, they're keeping my position for me and I'll come back after a year. That's wonderful, Wen Yining said. I support you. Going to the mountain area will be good for your state of mind. Amham, I nodded. Once I'm settled you can come visit me. Sure, Wen Yining said, I will definitely come. After dinner we went shopping together and bought many things. This was the first time in 8 years that I could shop so freely, without having to save money for Chen Jingming. I bought myself many beautiful clothes and cosmetics, and also bought many stationery supplies and books for the children in the mountainous area. Looking at the items in my hands, my heart was full of anticipation. I looked forward to life in the mountains, to the days spent with the children. A week later, I packed my luggage and set off for the mountainous area. Juyu and my colleagues came to see me off. Nian, take good care of yourself once you get there, Juyu said, hugging me. If you ever feel wronged, make sure to call me. Don't worry, I said with a smile, I'll take care of myself. You all should work hard and wait for my return. We will, my colleagues said. Head nurse Su will be waiting for you to come back. I said goodbye to each of them and then boarded the train to the mountainous area. The train started moving, watching the city gradually recede into the distance outside the window. I felt very calm. Goodbye to this city full of sad memories. Goodbye to my past self. From today on, I will begin a new life. After a day and night on the train and another 2 hours by bus, I finally arrived at the Hope Primary School where I would teach. The school is deep in the mountains and the conditions are very tough. There are no tall buildings or bustling streets. Just a few rundown classrooms and a group of simple, honest children. But the sky here is blue, the clouds are white, and the air is fresh. When the children saw me, they gathered around, looking at me curiously. Their eyes sparkled like stars in the sky. Seeing their innocent, smiling faces, all the worries in my heart vanished. The principal, a warm-hearted man in his 50s, showed me around the school and arranged a dormitory for me. The dormitory is simple but very clean. After unpacking, I began my life. As a volunteer teacher, I teach the children Chinese and math, as well as singing, drawing and dancing. They all like me very much and gather around me every day, calling me Teacher Su. Living with the children is simple and joyful. Every day feels fulfilling and satisfying. I no longer have to please anyone, worry about paying anyone back or be careful of anyone's mood. I can just be myself and do what I love. When Yining often calls me to ask how I'm doing, I tell her that I'm living well and happily. Here, she is happy for me too. Juyu once came to visit me, bringing lots of daily necessities and snacks. Seeing that I'm doing well, she felt relieved. Time flies in the blink of an eye. Half a year has passed. I have fully adapted to life in the mountains. I have developed a deep bond with the children. Watching them grow and improve day by day fills me with a sense of accomplishment. I think this is the life I want, simple, pure, and meaningful. One day while I was teaching the children, the principal suddenly came to me and said someone was looking for me. I was taken aback. Who could be looking for me here? I stepped out of the classroom and saw a familiar figure. It was my mother, Zhao Guilan. She was holding a large bag and standing at the school gate looking at me. Mom, why are you here? I asked in surprise. I came to see you, Zhao Guilan said with a smile. You've been gone for half a year and haven't come home to visit. I missed you. A wave of warmth washed over me. I missed you too, Mom, I said. I led my mother into my dorm room and poured her a glass of water. She looked around the room and said with concern, Nian Nian, you've been suffering here. The conditions are so poor. It's not so bad, I said with a smile. I'm doing well here. The children are lovely and I really like it here. Mom looked at me and nodded. Seeing you so happy puts my mind at ease. I was wrong before, always pushing you to do things you didn't like. From now on, do whatever you want. I'll support you. Thank you, Mom, I said, deeply moved. Silly child, no need to be so polite with me, Mom said with a smile. I brought you lots of your favorite things. Also, here's some money I've saved up for you. Take it, don't shortchange yourself out here. Mom took a bank book from her bag and handed it to me. Looking at the bank book, I couldn't hold back my tears. So Mom had always loved me. She just had a different way of showing it. Mom, I don't want your money. I handed the bank book back to her. I have my own, keep it for yourself. Take it when I tell you to, Mom said, pressing the bank book into my hands. It's a small token from me. If you don't accept it, I'll get upset. So I had to take it. Mom stayed at the school for 3 days. During those 3 days, I showed her around the campus and introduced her to the children. Watching how happy I was with the kids, Mom's face lit up with a relieved smile. 3 days later, it was time for Mom to go home. I walked her to the bus station. Nian Nian, take care of yourself, Mom said. If you get tired, just come home. Home will always be your harbor. I know, Mom, I said. You take care of yourself too. Once my volunteer teaching ends, I'll come back to see you. Good, Mom nodded. I'll be waiting for you to come home. Watching Mom board the bus, I felt a deep warmth in my heart. With my family's support, I have nothing to fear. I turned back to the school and continued teaching the children. Sunlight spilled into the classroom, over the children's faces and into my heart. I knew my future would be full of sunshine. The year of volunteer teaching ended quickly. On the day I left, all the children came to see me off. They held my hands and said tearfully, Teacher Sue, please don't go. Teacher Sue, we'll miss you. Teacher Sue, you must come back to see us. I cried too. That year, I built a deep bond with the children. I crouched down, wiped their tears and said, I'll miss you too. I will come back to see you someday. You must study hard and listen to your new teacher. Okay, the children said tearfully. The principal also came to see me off, saying, Thank you, Teacher Sue, for everything you've done this past year. The children will always remember you. You're welcome, I said. This year I have also gained a lot. I will always remember this place. I reluctantly said goodbye to the children and got on the bus, leaving the mountain area. Watching the school gradually fade into the distance, my heart was full of reluctance, but I knew I still had my own life to live. Back in the city, Juyu and Wen Yining both came to pick me up. Nian Nian, you're finally back. Juyu hugged me and said, I missed you so much. I missed you too, I said with a smile. Welcome back. Wen Yining also said with a smile, You've gotten tanned and thinner, but you look more energetic. Is that so? I smiled and said, The sun is stronger in the mountains, but I was very happy there. We went to eat together and talked a lot about what had happened over the past year. Wen Yining said she had already finished renovating her hometown house and now she spends every day with her children, living a fulfilling life. She also mentioned that she met a male teacher, a very nice person, and they are seeing each other. Really, that's wonderful. I said happily, I'm truly happy for you. Thank you. Wen Yining said with a smile, When we get married, I'll definitely ask you to be my bridesmaid, okay? I said, I'll definitely come. Juyu also said she had recently been promoted to head nurse. Although work is busy, she is very happy. Seeing them both doing so well made me feel very happy too. Back at the hospital, my colleagues welcomed me warmly. The director also spoke with me and said I would continue as the head nurse in pediatrics. I threw myself back into work. Although I had been away for a year, I quickly adapted to the hospital's rhythm. Being with the children every day made me feel very joyful. One day, while I was making rounds in the ward, a nurse suddenly ran up to me and said, "Head Nurse Su, there's an elderly woman at the door looking for you. She says she's Chen Jingming's mother." My brow furrowed. Zhong Tsuehua, what did she want with me? I walked to the hospital entrance and saw Zhong Tsuehua standing there. She looked much older than a year ago. Her hair was completely white and her back was hunched. When she saw me, she immediately came over, grabbed my hand and said tearfully, "Sunyan, please help Jingming, help him." I was taken aback. What's wrong? "Jingming is sick in prison, very sick," Zhong Tsuehua cried. "The doctor said he needs surgery or his life will be in danger, but the medical conditions in prison are poor. I want to apply for him to serve his sentence outside for medical treatment, but I need a letter of understanding from the victim. Sunyan, please, issue a letter of understanding for him, I beg you." I looked at her pitiful state and felt somewhat reluctant, but then I remembered the harm Chen Jingming had caused me, remembered the 8-year deception, and my heart hardened again. "I'm sorry, I can't," I said, pulling my hand back calmly. "The harm Chen Jingming caused me cannot be undone. I will not issue a letter of understanding for him. Sunyan, I'm begging you." Zhong Tsuehua knelt before me. "He's my only son. If he dies, I won't want to live either. I'll kowtow to you with that." She began to kowtow. I quickly supported her. "Don't do that if you don't agree." "I won't get up," Zhong Tsuehua cried. "Even if you kowtow, I won't agree," I said. "Zhong Tsuehua, back when Chen Jingming was deceiving me, why didn't you beg him to spare me? Now that he's sick, you come to me, don't you think it's too late?" "I know I was wrong. I truly know I was wrong," Zhong Tsuehua wept. "I shouldn't have helped him deceive you. I'm sorry. For the sake of my old age, please forgive Jingming this once." "I have already forgiven him," I said. "I don't hate him, nor do I resent him. But forgiveness doesn't mean I can forget the harm he caused me. I will not issue a letter of understanding. He must pay the price for his actions." With that, I turned and left. "Sunyan, Sunyan," Zhong Tsuehua shouted behind me, "you'll regret this." I didn't look back. With firm steps, I walked into the hospital. I knew I was doing the right thing. If I issued the letter of understanding and allowed Chen Jingming to serve his sentence outside for medical treatment, it would be unfair to me, to Wen Yining, and to everyone else he had deceived. He must pay the deserved price for his actions. Back in my office, I sat in my chair feeling somewhat conflicted, but I did not regret my decision. In the afternoon, Wen Yining called me and said that Zhong Tsuehua had also gone to see her, begging her to issue a letter of understanding, but she refused. "I knew she would go to you," I said. "You did the right thing. We can't be soft-hearted." "Yeah," Wen Yining said, "although she is pitiful, what Chen Jingming did was too much. We cannot forgive him." I said. After hanging up, I took a deep breath, composed myself and continued working. Let the past be the past. I will no longer be affected by people and things from the past. I need to live my own life well. A year later, Wen Yining and I founded a public welfare organization against emotional fraud. We help those who have been hurt by emotional scammers, providing them with legal advice and psychological counseling. We also frequently give lectures at schools and communities, teaching people how to protect themselves from emotional fraud. Many of those we have helped have joined our organization. Our organization has grown larger and has helped more and more people. Watching those who were once hurt just like us step out of the shadows and start new lives fills my heart with a sense of achievement. I think this is the meaning of my life, not only to live well myself but also to help more people live well. That day, Wen Yining and I took the volunteers of our public welfare organization to hold an event at a Hope Primary School in the mountains. Seeing the happy smiles on the children's faces, Wen Yining and I exchanged a knowing smile. Under the setting sun, our shadows stretched long. The pain of the past has become a badge of our growth. We are no longer the foolish women blinded by love. We are independent, confident, and strong women. With our own hands, we have created our own happiness. The road ahead is still long, but I know that as long as we bravely keep moving forward, we will surely welcome an even brighter tomorrow.